Why is the West alert by China's sixth-generation fighter? It seems that China may have successfully developed a sixth-generation fighter jet. If that's true, it suggests China's military capacity has reached another entirely new level.
A sixth-generation fighter jet made by China. We're talking about cutting-edge technology.
Most G7 countries are still operating mainly 4.5 generation and 5th generation fighters. So why does this make the West, especially the United States, uneasy? In this video, I want to talk about the kind of emotions China's 6th generation fighter triggers in Western geopolitics, especially from a social media perspective. On December 26, 2024, Mao Zedong's birthday, two fighter jets reportedly flew slowly over Chengdu. Historically, the Chinese government has been very low profile about military publicity, let alone flying advanced aircraft at low altitude over a major city. That's why so many people speculate those might be sixth-generation fighters. That same night, rumors spread that the Washington D.C. was working overtime. People joked that Pentagon was staying up late and ordering pizza, and that traffic near the White House was unusually heavy in the early morning. No! Well, working overtime during Christmas, I guess people everywhere deal with that. For the past decade or more, in modern military campaigns, the US aircraft has maintained a clear advantage, especially in established air superiority. That's a core part of American military doctrine. If you look at most YouTube videos discussing this topic, you will notice an awkward tone. Many commentators don't fully deny the possibility of China's sixth-gen jets, but they also don't fully acknowledge that China's military development could seriously balance US power. What you see more than anything is a sense of discomfort from Western media figures when facing China's rise in military capacity. When the side that traditionally holds power starts showing visible anxiety, some people interpret that as a sign that the balance is shifting. From this perspective, they also push back against accusations, like claims that China is directing arming Russia in the Ukraine war, which many Chinese commentators see as the exaggerate or political motivate.
美方的观点概括起来无非是3点：第一，中国向俄罗斯提供军事补给；第二，中国向俄罗斯提供政治掩护；第三，如果没有中国支持俄罗斯，战争早已结束。这3点都是彻头彻尾、地地道道的谎言。如果中国真的向俄罗斯提供军事补给，那战场的局势早就不是今天这个样子。如果真的中国向俄罗斯提供了政治掩护，我们就不会在公开场合反复强调各国的主权和领土完整都应该得到尊重，应该遵守联合国宪章的宗旨和原则。如果中国真的不希望战争早日结束，我们就不会派遣特别代表，多次开展穿梭外交，也不会同全球南方国家一道发起成立乌克兰危机和平自由小组。
Some content creators just label Chinese sixth-gen jet garbage. That kind of clickbait lacks deep. Look around you. How many products in your daily life are made in China? China's light industry is globally competitive. If a country has the level of industrial capacity, would its military technology necessarily be weak? After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine inherited many military assets, including the Tu-160 White Swan strategic bomber, something that many Chinese military enthusiasts once admired. At that time, Chinese Air Force was relatively undeveloped and often accused of copying foreign design. In discussion about Russia-Ukraine war, some argue that Ukraine's early inheritance of Soviet assets, later stagnation in military development, and its decision to give out nuclear weapons helped explain Russia's strategic calculation. In the US, this sixth-generation discussion was also used to rally investment.
Go ahead and go to the next slide. And go back one for me. And go forward one. And do it one more time. The pace of modernization that the PLA is going through is unprecedented. It is far outpacing what we are doing. We are the smallest and oldest that we have ever been. The Chinese, the PLA, is the largest and most modern that it has ever been.
Military analysis appears in the media amplifying concern. On Chinese social media, there's sarcastic nickname for this kind of figure, Commission Smith, someone who leveraged geopolitical intention to secure funding and possibly misuse public funds. Some netizens draw parallels with leaders in Russia-Ukraine war, suggest they play similar roles. The US government has historically used fear to consolidate power, expanding homeland security measures after 9/11. Some argue that similar techniques are harder to apply today, given growing satisfaction among American voters. Interestingly, you can even find Americans and Europeans online expressing admiration and congratulations towards Chinese technological progress. Of course, Donald Trump also announced plans to develop a sixth-generation fighter, but given America's current focus on domestic immigration enforcement and the Gaza-Israel war and the Russia-Ukraine war, some believe such projects may face delays. A country's aviation technology is often seen as the core symbol of national strength. China's rise in aerospace is perceived by somebody as a direct challenge to US domination. Think about the Indian-Pakistan intention. They were calculating that a Chinese-made J-10 shot down an Indian Air Force Rafale fighter import from France. The J-10 is actually one of the China's earlier generation fighter, and it's gradually moved into a semi-retirement domestically. Meanwhile, there are expectations that China may export the J-35 to Pakistan around 2026, which could significantly boost Pakistan's military capability. Yet there are still many military experts who view China as if it was stuck in the 20th century. This kind of Western bias and overconfidence, some argue, helps explain why Western influence appears to be declining, especially among younger audiences who are increasingly skeptical about mainstream media narratives. At the same time, Chinese social media also has plenty of the over-the-top narrativism influence. That's the part of China's own political correctness. The target audience is often the domestic base that resonates with the ground national narrative. I will probably make a separate video about that. To understand the kind of the self-deprecating humor Chinese users bring to the YouTube, you need to know that many refer to themselves as the rabbits. It's not about the turtle and the hare. The metaphor is that rabbits are herbivores. The idea is China prefers peace and quiet, but if pushed too far, it can respond fiercely. This reflects a broader philosophy. China's independent development challenged the Western-led globalism. For many developing or global South countries, China's past suggests that modernization doesn't necessarily require submitting to Western dominance. Hi, this is Len. If you like my video, you can subscribe or leave a comment. I see you in next time.